the secret 30-second Jewish prayer that can shut the door to debt once and for all. Listen very carefully, my dear brother and my dear sister. Right now, I want you to pause whatever you are doing. Stop the wandering thoughts. Stop the endless scrolling. Because what I am about to share with you may be the last time in your life that you ever bow your head, type a message, or make an uncomfortable call asking someone to lend you money. I am not exaggerating. I am speaking about a deep change that begins at the root, starting with the words that come out of your mouth in the very first moments of a new day. I want you to remember the last time you had to borrow money from someone. Feel it again for a moment. Your heart was beating fast. Your hands were trembling as you typed the message, erased it, typed again, and erased it once more. That heavy breath before pressing send. That quiet moment where you asked yourself, why am I here again? In that exact sigh, in those same 30 seconds, you could have spoken an ancient Jewish prayer from beginning to end. A prayer that has the power to shut the door of debt and open the door to provision, unexpected help, and almost unbelievable breakthroughs. What may surprise you the most is how short this prayer truly is. If you already knew it, you could say it fully in the same time it takes to breathe deeply once before asking someone for money. Just 3 sentences, no complicated rituals, no candles, no strange actions, no lifelong promises. You do not need to fast for days or understand deep mystical ideas. Just 3 simple lines spoken at the right time of day and repeated consistently can begin to reshape your relationship with money at the deepest level of your mind and your soul. If starting today you decide to learn this prayer and speak it every morning before touching your phone, before checking your bank balance, before the fear of not having enough for the month begins to rise, then I can tell you honestly, based on what I have witnessed, the flow of provision will slowly begin turning in your direction. And when I say provision, I do not mean sitting still and waiting for money to fall from the sky. I am talking about doors opening in ways you never planned or expected. A customer calls out of nowhere. A side job appears at the exact moment you need it. A collaboration opportunity comes that no one mentioned before. A single phone call changes your entire financial situation. Imagine waking up each morning not thinking, today I am short again, today I will struggle again, but instead declaring quietly within yourself, today I am a channel of provision. Imagine those long nights at 3 in the morning, filled with worry and fear, slowly fading away. No more avoiding people because of embarrassment. No more lying awake wondering who you will borrow from next. No more thinking of excuses, so it does not sound humiliating. I want you to hear this clearly. That cycle can end right here, at this very moment, if you choose it. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. I speak with confidence because I am not sharing theories. I have seen this happen with ordinary people just like you, hardworking laborers, single parents, office workers, small shop owners, people who had to borrow $500, $300, even just $100 every month to survive rent, school fees, electricity, and water bills. They lived with shame, confusion, and heaviness in their hearts. Many believed they were simply not meant to experience abundance or financial peace. And yet, simply by applying this 30-second prayer correctly and practicing it daily, they slowly became people who no longer needed to borrow. Some even reached a place where they could help others who were struggling the way they once had. There was no lottery win, no sudden inheritance, no fake miracle where money appeared from nowhere. What changed everything was a new habit that seemed small at first. A short prayer spoken at the right time with the right attitude, practiced for 7 days, then 21 days, then 40 days. I have personally walked alongside more than a dozen people like this. They were not lazy. They were not careless with money. They were caught in an invisible pattern. The more they borrowed, the more dependent they felt. The more dependent they became, the weaker they felt inside. And the weaker they felt, the easier it became to ask again. That cycle quietly destroyed their dignity, one message and one call at a time. I want you to understand something very important. What I am sharing with you is not a made-up story from the internet. It is not something inspirational that you listen to once and forget. For more than 3,000 years, from generation to generation, many of the world's most successful Jewish families have quietly passed down prayers connected to money, dignity, and provision. They do not shout about it. They do not show it on television, but the results speak for themselves. A very large portion of the world's wealth rests in the hands of people who understand and apply these principles. Think about that carefully. How can a community that has faced war, exile, persecution, and the loss of property time and time again continue to rise, rebuild wealth, control financial flow, and create businesses, banks, and institutions across the world? Is it only coincidence, or are they applying principles most people were never taught? One of the core ideas is this: using the mouth to declare provision instead of using it to beg, borrow, or lower oneself. In ancient writings such as the Babylonian Talmud, especially in sections dealing with vows and obligations, the relationship between borrowing and divine provision is explained clearly. Later scholars like Maimonides emphasized a powerful truth: financial dignity is not reserved for a special few. It is a basic right connected to every person who chooses to stand upright and speak differently about their life. When you open your mouth to ask for money, it feels like a temporary solution. But at a deeper level, it is a declaration. It quietly says, "I cannot manage my own life." When that declaration is repeated again and again, it begins to program your thoughts, emotions, and inner energy toward dependency. I am not saying this to judge you. I am saying it so you can see something hopeful. If words created the problem, then words can also create the solution. If your mouth helped build a reality of debt, then with the same mouth, you can build a reality of provision. The 30-second Jewish prayer I am about to share with you is the first key that opens that door. But before I place that key in your hands, I need to know that you are truly ready. This is not something you try casually. This is a decision to restore your financial dignity. If you are listening to this right now, I want you to take a small but meaningful action. Subscribe to the Financial Miracle Prayers channel as a sign of your decision to change your financial story. Not because the channel needs numbers, but because you need a daily reminder that you were not created to live under debt, but to walk upright in provision. In the next part, I will explain what the prayer is, why it only takes 30 seconds yet reaches deep into your subconscious, and how to practice it every morning in a clear and simple way. But right now, ask yourself one honest question. Are you willing to live another year, or 3 years, or 5 years, trapped in borrowing messages, awkward calls, and sleepless nights? If your heart says no, then stay here. Commit to this journey. Walk with me and with this community. From this moment forward, you are no longer fighting debt alone. And it all begins with understanding the hidden power carried in every single word you speak. Every morning when you speak, you are standing at a turning point. At dawn, before the world pulls at you, before noise enters your mind, there are 30 seconds that can awaken the flow of financial provision. I want to say this clearly and firmly so it settles deep inside you. Each time you wake up, you are not just beginning another day. You are restarting the financial direction of your life. And what most people never realize is this: just 30 seconds every morning can place you into a stream of provision you once believed only lucky or privileged people could ever reach. Picture this carefully. You open your eyes one morning. Instead of grabbing your phone to check your balance, instead of sighing because rent is approaching, instead of letting worry hit you before your feet touch the floor, you stand quietly by a window. The first light of the day touches your face. In that calm moment, you speak a prayer that lasts only 30 seconds. Yet those few seconds are enough to redirect the financial flow of your day, your week, and over time, your entire life. I am not telling you this to entertain you with comforting ideas. I am sharing what I have seen with my own eyes. People who were deeply trapped in borrowing cycles, 500, 300, sometimes just a few small amounts again and again, stood back up simply by forming one small habit. They spoke this 30-second Jewish prayer before doing anything else in the morning. That single shift changed how they moved through the day and how opportunities began moving toward them. What makes this so powerful is that it is not a secret trick. It is not a get-rich shortcut or a money hack. It is not empty motivation. It is alignment. It places your mind, your words, and your inner energy on the same frequency as provision. And when the frequency is right, money begins finding its way to you through paths you never could have planned or imagined. You need to understand something before going further. Once you start this practice, you will not remain the same person. The change may be quiet at first, but it is permanent. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment and feel this question honestly. Why does your morning always begin with worry? Look closely at the habit. You wake up, check your phone, look at your balance, feel anxiety, and tell yourself another day of surviving. In the first 10 seconds of the day, scarcity is planted into your mind. Because this habit feels normal, you do not even notice what it is doing to you. You are programming your brain to expect lack, to prepare for struggle. Modern neuroscience has made this very clear. The brain reacts strongly to the thoughts, words, and emotions you experience right after waking up. Every word spoken in the morning becomes a command sent into your nervous system. It tells your brain whether today you are lacking or provided for, anxious or empowered, closed or open to opportunity. The beautiful truth is this command can be changed in just 30 seconds. That is why this prayer has survived for over 3,000 years. Not because it is mystical or mysterious, but because it strikes the psychological, energetic, and spiritual core of a human being all at once. Prosperous Jewish families understood something most people were never taught. They never allow the first moments of the day to be ruled by fear. They do not begin the day saying not enough, too hard, or short again. They practice a morning declaration of provision. These are not empty words. Morning words function like programming codes. When you enter the day with the right declaration, you invite the right outcomes. When you enter with the wrong one, scarcity follows, not because of fate, but because it was activated. Listen carefully now. This is not just information. This is a practice you can use. What you speak, you eventually see. What you declare, you slowly become. The moment you release this 30-second prayer, you send a signal to your brain and to the world around you that you are no longer the one who begs. You are the one who receives, and life responds accordingly. Imagine standing at the window, morning light on your face, and saying quietly, "Today I am a channel of provision. Money comes to me without humiliation. I receive because I am worthy." In that moment, something shifts that your eyes cannot see. A door opens. Not money instantly appearing, but you becoming the kind of person money moves toward. That difference matters. When you move from asking to receiving, you step into a new financial identity. This is why prosperous families declare instead of complain. This is also why I want you walking with the Financial Miracle Prayers community. Not just to listen, but to practice. To remind yourself daily that money does not move toward fear. It moves toward declaration. If you have not yet subscribed, do it now as a sign to yourself. This space exists for people who are done borrowing and ready to receive. Here, you do not just hear words, you apply them, you change habits, you see results. In the next part, you will learn why these 3 sentences imprint so deeply into the brain, why dawn matters, and how 7 days can rewrite patterns you have lived with for years. Now listen carefully, because what comes next may strike a place inside you that has been quietly hurting for a long time. Financial struggle, constant anxiety, the humiliation of borrowing again and again, none of it is truly caused by money. That belief is the lie you were taught. Debt is not born from a lack of income. Debt is born from a verbal pattern repeated for years without awareness. Here is the truth most people avoid. You were not trapped by circumstances, you were trapped by declarations. Every time you said, "I am short, I need to borrow, I do not have enough," your mind accepted it as instruction. Your energy reflected it. Your life followed it. Your mouth has financed your struggle more than your income ever did. That may feel confronting, but stay with this. Your words shape your financial identity long before any paycheck arrives. That identity decides what you believe is possible. This is why borrowing, even temporarily, leaves a scar on self-image. You think you are borrowing money, but you are also borrowing helplessness and surrendering dignity piece by piece. Consider the story of Carolina Mendez, a 38-year-old single mother in Mexico City. She worked hard and loved her children deeply, yet every month she was short by the same amount, $800. Always $800. She hated borrowing and promised herself it would be the last time. But bills do not wait, and deadlines do not care. With shaking hands and hidden tears, she sent the same message again, asking for help until payday. Each time she pressed send, something inside her dimmed. She once admitted that it felt like losing a piece of her soul every time she asked. If that pain feels familiar, it is because you have felt it too. That quiet internal crack, the feeling that you are failing or not enough. You do not need this explained. You have lived it. And here is the staggering part most people miss. The amount Carolina borrowed never changed, but her words did. Once she stopped declaring lack and began declaring provision, opportunities appeared. Not magic, alignment, a shift in identity. And from that shift, a new financial path opened. And this is where your story can change too, if you allow it to begin with the words you speak tomorrow morning. A study released in 2023 by Stanford University revealed that nearly 80% of people who regularly borrow money begin to develop real neurological patterns of dependence. This is not just an emotional habit or a financial routine. It is a physical change in the brain where the mind starts relying on outside rescue. The brain becomes attached to short-term relief and the belief that someone else must solve the problem. Like any addiction, this behavior turns into a hidden reflex and a quiet form of self-sabotage. If you have borrowed money more than 3 times in the last year, there is a very high chance that your mind has already shifted toward financial dependence. This explains why you often feel stuck, why progress feels slow no matter how hard you work, and why opportunities seem to disappear just when you need them most. Your mind has been trained to repeat this cycle, and your own words have acted as the instruction manual. Ancient wisdom understood this long before modern science confirmed it. The Babylonian Talmud makes a powerful statement, saying that the borrower becomes a servant to the lender. This is not poetry, and it is not symbolic language. It describes a real spiritual and psychological law. Borrowing does more than limit your finances. It confines your identity and weakens your presence in the world. The moment you begin to see yourself as someone in need, your entire life starts adjusting to that identity. Many people talk about the law of attraction, but very few realize that spoken words carry more power than silent wishes. You can imagine success all day long, but if your speech revolves around lack, then lack becomes the authority over your life. Jewish scholars and mystics have long taught a truth that is rarely discussed openly. Speaking about shortage does not simply describe your situation, it actively strengthens it. On the other hand, speaking about abundance is not pretending or hoping, it activates support beyond what you can see. Words carry frequency, and frequency attracts what matches it. This is exactly why a 30-second prayer spoken in the morning is so powerful. It interrupts years of harmful mental programming and cancels old patterns of lack. It resets who you are at the very start of the day, when your subconscious mind is wide open. When you speak these words in the morning, you are not only praying, you are issuing a command that resets both your brain and your destiny. Once your language changes, your life is forced to follow. Take the example of Roberto Vasquez, a 51-year-old entrepreneur. He was creative, hardworking, and intelligent, yet every month he had to borrow $1,000 just to keep his business alive. Investors avoided him, not because he lacked ability, but because people hesitate to trust someone who constantly needs rescuing. Over time, his business collapsed and his confidence collapsed with it. This did not happen because he was meant to fail, but because he was living inside a verbal identity of insufficiency without realizing it. If this story touches something inside you, that reaction is a good sign. It means awareness is beginning. The moment of change comes when you realize that the same words that built the walls of your prison can also build the road to your freedom. You are not permanently stuck, and you are not designed to live in debt. This cycle can be broken quickly by changing the pattern that created it. That is why this 30-second prayer has survived for thousands of years, and why families who use it continue to rise even in difficult times. It realigns the mind and reopens the flow of provision. This is the moment to stop apologizing for wanting more and stop explaining away your lack. If you are ready for real change, stay present and attentive. The next stage will show you exactly how the morning declaration works to restore your sense of worth and break dependency. Choosing to subscribe to Financial Miracle Prayers becomes your first clear statement of a new identity. This is not just content, this is a turning point. For thousands of years, there has been a powerful rule that successful people never ignore. What you speak each morning becomes the blueprint for your financial future. This practice has been passed down quietly and used at dawn. You are standing in front of a door most people never notice. Stay alert, because truths this powerful must be respected. The difference between those who rise and those who struggle is often found in what they say before the sun fully rises. Tradition teaches that the first 30 seconds after waking are sacred. During this time, the mind is unguarded and easily shaped. Whatever you think or say in those first breaths sets the tone for the day and eventually for your life. This is why starting the day with fear or complaints writes scarcity into your future. Instead, beginning with a declaration of provision creates a verbal agreement with abundance. This is not begging, it is speaking with authority. Wealthy individuals program their minds differently. Before checking phones or bank accounts, they stand in the morning light and declare provision. They do not wait or hope, they declare. Financial dignity is activated through speech, not through borrowing disguised as necessity. Your mouth is the switch, your words are the power, and the morning is the source. Neuroscience now confirms what ancient wisdom already knew. The subconscious mind is most open during the shift from sleep to wakefulness. Words spoken at that time bypass resistance and embed themselves deeply. This is why random affirmations often fail, but morning declarations can change an entire identity. When the identity shifts, finances follow. You cannot rise until you break the identity of the borrower out loud and replace it with intention. This short prayer breaks the old identity and installs a new one. Imagine starting your day by declaring that you are a vessel of provision and that wealth comes to you without shame or fear. By doing this, you step into a lineage of power that has endured for generations. Are you willing to turn your mornings into a gateway for transformation? Your breakthrough is closer than you think.